What's going on, guys? This is Joe. Welcome back to another video here on the channel. We are dancing. We're moving to the beat because today we are getting into how to plant in American farming, how to plant, how to harvest. Everything you need to know about row crops will be in today's video. Before we get started, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, do what you do best, guys. Thank y'all for all the support y'all been showing American farming. And guys and girls, we are not done with the tutorials yet. We've got plenty more plans and plenty more coming. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be starting off in stages. First stage will be cultivation, so your primary tillage and your secondary tillage. The second one will be planting. Third one will be fertilization, and fourth one will be harvesting overall. I will try to leave the timestamps for each section that you need in the description down below. And if there's a certain piece of equipment we did not go over, please leave in the comment section down below and we will go over it in there, or I will make a whole nother video dedicated to that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first thing we're starting with. We are starting with a 60-20 Vermeer. Now, of course, I didn't go get the biggest primary tillage, but this is a decent sized one right here. This is the DMI Tiger Ripper, and this basically will rip the ground and give you a yield bonus. So what I've seen is this will give yield bonuses, I believe, up to 10 to 20%. I'm not 100% sure. I've not seen any data. For the research I've done, it does like 10 to 20. Cannot confirm nor deny that as of right now. So this I do recommend doing if you want a really good, solid yielding crop through and through. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, you have to go to a field that you own. As simple as just putting it down into the ground and going. Now, we'll definitely say this. You'll see how you get the plow texture after you pull over the field with it. We'll definitely end up going to tell you this now. It is mandatory that you know that you cannot plant directly into this. You do need to do second tillage. So if you only buy primary tillage and do not buy the secondary tillage, you cannot do anything. Hey guys, couple quick notes. After I got this video done and recorded, I found this tab right here, which shows, yes, I've not went through every tab here, but it does show you the percentages. You get 10% for primary tillage, 5% for secondary tillage, negative 5% for no-till, and then of course your nitrogen does 50% to corn, NPK does 25%, soybeans does 0, nitrogen does 0 to soybeans, and 50% to wheat. NPK does 25% to corn, 25% to soybeans, and 25% to wheat. So this does give you show you what your yield will look like with everything all being said. And a couple of things, if I say anything wrong from this point forward in the video, or I said anything previously wrong with the video, just ignore that. This is the true accurate data from American farming themselves, and I'm sorry about that. My mistake. I made a mistake during the video, but I'm trying to correct it as fast as I can. Thank y'all. Please enjoy the rest of the video. So this right here is your DMI Tiger 2 Ripper. It's a 5 shank, and it only requires 180 horsepower and a max speed of 6 miles an hour. Alongside that, it comes with a price tag of $24,500, and this is your best starting farm ripper that you will need to get started on any farm to get the best yield. Next on the list is your Eco Till from Case IH. It's 11 shank. It requires 385 horsepower, 6 miles an hour, and it will put a dent in your wallet of $142,000. Now, of course, you have the biggest and the baddest of them all, your Landau Disc Ripper, which is a 13 shank, and it requires 455 horsepower, 6 miles an hour, of course, and it will put the biggest dent in your pocket of all, $197,000. Alongside this is also a DLC only, so you do have to have the DLC to access this one. I highly recommend it if you're wanting to get the most done as fast as you can, ladies and gentlemen. When I say this, guys and girls, I mean this. The DLCs are totally worth it. They are not just like, oh, I could have this. You're actually getting a lot of equipment. It's not like you're buying one piece of equipment and not getting nothing with it. Now, of course, to get started on your actual planting, to be able to plant, you have to take your secondary tillage, which we have the International Disc, and we'll go ahead and put this down. You see how it transforms into like what the rest of the field is. We can go up to 10 miles an hour with this, actually get some good speed behind her, and just go around the complete field just to make sure that this is done properly. And here she goes. Now she's back on the track, and she will go ahead and finish this out like she should. Go all the way around the thing and make it where you can go ahead and start direct planting. Of course, with secondary tillage, you have a lot more options available to you. You, of course, have your 25-foot International Disc Case Cultivator, which is a 42-foot, so it gets a massive jump right out the end of the gate, which requires 300 horsepower and can go a max of 10 miles an hour with a dent in your pocket of $140,000. This right here is your Case IH high-speed disc. It's a 31-foot, but it requires 350 horsepower, but it goes 14 miles an hour, which I believe is the fastest, and it will put a dent in your pocket of $137,000. This is your Landau vertical tillage, 32-foot, 320 horsepower, 14 miles an hour, and $138,000 price tag to go alongside of it. And of course, you have the biggest mamma gem of all. This is your 50-foot, 350 horsepower required, 10 miles an hour speed, and $178,000 price tag to go alongside. This is your land doll field cultivator. And ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and get started, I want to go ahead and show y'all where you can buy your seed, your fertilizer, everything you will need for what you're doing. So if you look down here at the map, this 11 right here is where your dealership is, and right below it is where 10 is. If you look at your maps and you look for 10, that will be where your elevators are and your purchase points for bales and others. So bales is of course on the back side. Now this right here is on the front where you buy your seed, your fertilizers, all your stuff you will need, and it's right here across the street from that. I recommend if you buy a planter, you buy a seeder, you do anything like that, you come over here and get this. Also, fun little fact for the people who don't know this, if you run out of diesel while you're doing stuff and you need a quick way to put diesel in your tanks, just drive around back here, you can put diesel in there, and that's also where you buy your bales. Let me actually show this because I did not show this during my cattle video, but this is just fun information to know. You go here, hit this button, and you actually buy your bales. They will spawn over here and you can load them up onto your trailer as you see necessary. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any of these farms that's up here close to the top of the map, I recommend going up here to the second part of the town, up here to where it says number 10. Just come up here and fill your seed and fertilizer up right here. And if you need diesel and you don't want to go to your own farm, but you're still near your farm, recommend pulling over here, get you some diesel, and buying your bales directly from right here. Just some fast information for you all. Let's get on back to where we need to be. Alrighty, back to this. So this right here is a seeder. So this right here can plant your wheat or it can plant your beans. I highly recommend if you're going to want to plant wheat, use this. And I do think wheat will have more of a use in the future, but time will tell. And as you see, we've already used second tillage. It will pop up on that screen because there is a little bit of an issue currently going on, but there is a fix coming out for that issue soon. But as you see, we're able to put the wheat down, and it's pretty much as simple as this. Just drive around the field and you are planting your wheat. And plus, if you see this little icon up here at the top where you see the little wheat symbol, if you tap that, you can turn it to beans. That's how you change between beans and wheat on all the planters and seeders. So this right here is your Case IH seed drill. This right here is of course your smallest one, only requires 50 horsepower, holds 50 bushels, and 6 miles an hour as fast as you can go, with a price tag of only $14,000. So it is not that bad. It's a good price for your bang for your buck. If you only want to plant beans, I only recommend this if you want to do beans and wheat, because you could do beans with the other things. Now this right here, if you really want to get into wheat, I highly recommend this. Get this one right here. It will be the best thing for you. It is the Landau seed drill. It is 150 horsepower required, 10 miles an hour, 100 bushel it holds, and a price tag of $145,000. Now this here is your normal corn planter, and in this planter you can plant corn or soybeans. Again, top little bag up the top, and you can change between corn or soybeans. You do have to hit your unfold button here, and you put her down and plant his day drive. Again, that will be fixed here pretty soon. That little issue is just a bug that they are working on as fast as they can, guys. Give them time and they'll get to it. So you just drive this around. As you can see, it's planting everything behind us. This is of course the base game one, and this is not the worst idea to keep. I recommend keeping this planter for as long as you can get it, and mainly using this one unless you want to get into wheat, when I would use a seeder, because you can still plant beans with this as well. As we are planting right now, we are planting beans now because I switched up the crop. So we will go ahead and finish the rest of the field out like this. Now for planters, of course, you have two planters. You have your 955 Case IH planter, which requires 80 horsepower, goes 6 miles an hour, 50 bushel hold, and costs $22,000. But you also get this base game. So I highly recommend keeping this when you get any farm. Now, if you really want to up your scale of your production, I recommend buying one of these jokers. A 1265 Case IH planter. This requires 300 horsepower, goes 10 miles an hour, holds 120 bushels, with a staggering price tag of $250,000. So it is definitely worth it if you want to go big or go home. And I'm always, let's go big. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So this next part is your fertilization. This is how you get the best fertilization states on what you're doing. You of course have your nitrogen, your NPK, and both. Recommend this Wednesday. Do animals. If you do cattle or pigs, you get manure, which manure has both and is the best bang for your buck. You're making money while making more money while making more money. That's the way I view it. You're making tons of money and you're saving money as well, because it is a byproduct of doing cows. Now, of course, I gotta show you the manure spreaders because I do not have that set up to where I can show you that right now. This is the H&S 32 31 manure spreader. It requires 120 horsepower. It holds 23,000 pounds of fertilizer and a price tag of $29,500. Definitely is worth it to spend that money. Trust me. If you really want to go bigger, I recommend this right here, the Myers SX 1720 manure spreader. This right here requires 140 horsepower. It goes 10 miles an hour, holds 54,000 pounds, and costs $61,700. This is the big daddy of manure spreading. Now, if you do pigs, you will get another byproduct of slurry, which if you go watch my pig video, recommend going and checking that out after this one. The Bowser 7650 is what you'll need. It requires 200 horsepower, holds 76 gallons, and plus it only has a price tag of $175,000. Now, if you're wanting just to say forget the rest of it, let me teach you what you need to know. The first one out there, that is your nitrogen. It takes care of all your nitrogen needs. P&K, that takes care of your P&K needs. Of course, liquid nitrogen is nitrogen, and then you have your NH3, which takes over your P&K. There's definitely a lot of money you have to spend on these. I recommend you choosing what's the best for you. Again, I recommend it. Now, if you want to go this route, I recommend picking up this DLC right here. Of course, the big pack comes with this and another spreader. And let's go ahead and show you everything. So for fertilization, you can see here, you will have your dry spreader, which does come base game with the pigs. I do recommend getting it. It spreads for 50 feet. It only requires 30 horsepower, 10 miles an hour. It holds 12,000 pounds and only has a small price tag of $12,000. Now, this right here is part one of the nitrogen, the NH3 trailer, which of course that's just your nitrogen applicator. This right here is the applicator itself. So this right here requires 380 horsepower, goes 6 miles an hour, and only has a price tag of $105. Now, of course, you can go bigger, which will require 500 horsepower, goes 6 miles an hour, and only requires $136,000 out the door. The tank is simple. You only have a dual tank option. It's just $33,000 and 2,000 gallons is all it holds. Now, if you want to go for something else, now this right here is in the DLCs. This is an under first project. This goes 60 foot. You can also change the color, I believe. Yes, you can change the color. Has 260 horsepower, 10 miles an hour, holds 2,600 gallons with a price tag of $165,000. Now, if you want to have something else that's going to put down solid fertilizer, but you want to be self-propelled, I recommend this. The Case Titan 4-wheel. This right here spreads 60 foot, has 410 horsepower, holds 150 gallons of diesel, and on top of that, it also goes 25 miles an hour. It holds 18,000 pounds of whatever you need in it, and only has a price tag of $403,000. Now, you want something that I like personally is this right here, the 3-wheeler. I don't know what about it. I just love this tractor. It has 410 horsepower, 150 gallons, 25 miles an hour, and 18,000 pounds, but it is cheaper. It only costs $358,000. Now, if you want the Mac Daddy that can do it all, the Case Patriot. This right here, you can adjust the wheels to wherever you want, but we'll go back to base. 335 horsepower, 140 gallons of diesel, 30 miles an hour, 160 gallons. On top of that, has the biggest price tag of all, $608,000. Now, just a couple quick notes. Whatever you do, if you do not put manure on, you do have to put both the nitrogen and NPK down, because that will give you your best results no matter what. You don't have to put these down, but to get the best results, I recommend these through and through. Same here. I recommend either one of these. If you're going to put something down, do that so you get your best results. I'm just trying to teach you how to max out your profits for your benefit. Now on to everybody's favorite part. Harvest season, baby. Now, this is what you start with if you start with the cattle part, which you have this chopper right here. You will make silage, and the silage goes into here. Now, I would show y'all this, but I've showed y'all how to use this in the cattle video. Links are down in the description below for this and all the information you need on the cattle. Now, this right here is what you do for harvesting, ladies and gentlemen. This is just as simple as it is. You basically will take your harvester and you will drive around the field, make sure to put it down, and just go. I will set an AI worker here, because corn is a little bit more delicate than anything else. Now, of course, beans and wheat are harvested the same exact way, but there's some information about the corn that you need to know, because you can make it worth even more than just selling it as is. So, of course, we're going to come over here and pick it up over here real fast from the harvester itself. So, of course, you'll go over your bin site and you will pull over. You'll go over here. Now, this is with all crops. You will choose what bin you want to put your corn in, or your soybeans, or your wheat. I'm going to put it into bin 1. Go ahead and unload all that. Now, for corn, you can actually come over here, and this is something that is great to me. grain dryers in base game. You can walk up to here, hit the little button, grain dryer has been activated, and it will slowly run as time goes on, and it will charge you money to run it like it would in real life, but it's not gonna be that much. There you go. Charged me $10.71. That is not bad to run the grain dryer. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, the wheat and is deactivated, automatically deactivated itself. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, the wheat and everything else is done the exact same way, except you do not need to turn the grain dryer on them. But ladies and gentlemen, if you have any more questions at all about this, please leave a comments down below. I'll be more than glad to answer your questions and answer everything I've got. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for me, the entire team, we'll see you next time. Peace!